You're listening to Bye Bye Baby, a Dob Berman production. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Bye Bye Baby podcast. I'm the babysitter Mariana, and these are my two babies,
Madi
and Tori.
Also, if your parents have to drive you to your date, then you're not old enough to listen to this podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about being bi without ever being in a relationship. And I wanted to start this session talking about our experiences. I personally have never been in a relationship, and I know a little bit about your dating history, but would you like to explain it to us?
Makes it sound like we're dating each other.
Oh, I wish. So I dated people in high school. I was in a serious relationship for a good portion of high school. It was kind of like a high school sweetheart situation, if you will. But I've been single since I was 19, and I am now 24. I've dated people. I've gone on dates. I've been talking to someone for an extended period of time, but I haven't been in a, committed relationship since I was 19. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was even 18, honestly. I can't remember. But my adult years, I haven't been in a committed relationship.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, throughout high school, it was mostly, someone would ask me to a dance or, out on, a date or two. And we do that, and I think the longest was, freshman year of high school or something. I went out with a guy for, a month, and that was crazy for me, because I considered myself, a serial monogamist, I guess. I would just keep, having dates, but not with the same person.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But my last serious relationship was a polyamorous relationship with L and B, and I've talked about them in other episodes, but a boy and a girl. And they're actually from Ohio, so it was a long-distance relationship. And before that, with a guy, I went on a few dates with a girl before that. So I've had a pretty varied dating history. Only a few serious relationships, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3.
And your serious relationship that you mentioned, it was with a guy.
Yes. I've only ever, dated guys. I've been in a relationship that involved a girl, but I wouldn't ever really call it serious. I've only ever kind of just been in flirtationships with girls.
Flirtationships, I
yes.
like that.
So yeah, I was in a long distance flirtationship with a girl, another L, I don't know what else to call her, but that was about it. Other than that, I just had one other experience, dating a girl, and it was never serious. It's mostly been guys, because hard to find girls that are into girls in Kansas. It's not as that, I mean, just in general as well, but especially in Kansas, it's kind of hard to tell. So I don't have a good gaydar.
Well, thank you both for sharing. And this leads to one of the topics that I want to touch upon today, which is others' perceptions about being bisexual when you haven't been in a relationship with the same gender, or in the case, if you only had relationships with the same gender. So, would you like to... has anyone ever questioned your sexuality because you haven't been in a relationship with a girl, or have you ever had any troubles with that?
I mean, I think I put more pressure on myself than other people have put any sort of pressure as far as, well, you're not bisexual, you haven't been in a relationship with a girl.
Right.
'Cause when I was first coming to terms with my sexuality, I was well, I haven't dated a girl or anything, so I guess it doesn't count. I don't know. But I think it also went back to with my mom, when I first came out to my mom, up until that point, I had only ever, like, talked to her about boys, and I had only dated boys. So, like, my mom, like I had mentioned in the coming out episode, my mom was kind of, like, unsure about it. She thought I was just kind of confused because of other things that were going on in my life. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't think I've faced too much, like, criticisms or any pressures from other people too much.
Right.
What about you? Before you started dating women, did you experience any sort of...
So I'm pretty sure we've been over this, but my God, it feels so awkward saying this, but like my sexual awakening, I suppose you could call it, was stop. But it was like I remember it so vividly because I was watching a Lady Gaga music video, and it was for I can never remember the name. It was a
Poker Face?
Yes.
Yeah,
Poker
we did
Face.
talk about
We
this.
talked about
we
this.
talked about this Poker Face.
So like I realized before I like actually started dating, and by then I was like, I don't know, my room was still painted purple. That's all I remember. But I mean, like before that, you have like, you know, boyfriends in like kindergarten or like third grade or something, where you're like, yeah, we're dating, but you don't go anywhere because you're like 3 years old. So.
But like you had mentioned that, so like throughout high school, you dated guys and girls, or was it?
I dated mostly guys, but that was because I was the only one that I knew of in my school that was anything other than straight. Mm-hmm. Besides, of course, one of my friends who later turned out to be our valedictorian, who was gay, but like he wouldn't be into me.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly the point. He wouldn't.
So that didn't work out well at all. But I mean, later in like senior year, people started actually coming out and being like, "Oh, yeah, I'm lesbian or whatever." But by then, I was like, I didn't really want to date them because I'd gone through my awkward phase with them, so I didn't really want to do that. So no, I pretty much stopped dating like senior year. I didn't really have like a girlfriend or a boyfriend senior year until I got to college. I just pretty much was like, I'm just gonna focus on like getting into college and then I'll have fun. So,
wow, look at you, so smart.
Yeah, personally, I've never been in a relationship ever, even those, like you said, kindergarten, pretend, anything. And I've definitely, a lot of people have asked me, oh, is it because you're ace? Is it because you just don't want to date people? Some people thought I might be weird. Actually,
I might be weird. I mean, I'm proudly weird. So.
We are the weirdos, mister.
We're the weird sisters. I've been waiting to use that.
And also,
it's a band in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. When you say, I was thinking like Sabrina, the Netflix Sabrina.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was thinking of Terry Pratchett because
we're all thinking of different pop culture references.
It's okay. Whatever it relates to for you guys.
Well, it's all about witches, weirdly enough.
Yes.
So, yes.
Okay, so anyway.
I even had someone actually tell me, like, oh, you should really start looking for someone to date because it's getting weird. About, like...
It's getting weird.
Wow. How about you go fuck yourself?
It was actually my mom.
Maddie.
I'm sorry. I take back what I said. Though it still is kind of rude.
I should have revealed that.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it was actually my mom. It was 2 or 3 years ago. She was like, so, like, have you met anyone? I'm pretty sure she thinks I've been secretly dating someone.
Oh.
Or something like that. I think she thinks, because everyone asks me, like, you know, when you go to family gatherings, like, so, got a boyfriend yet? Or, so, stuff like that. And I always say, no, not really, you know, variations.
Cooties, gross.
Variations of the same thing. And so, yeah, one time, I can't remember exactly the situation. My mom just came up to me like she was really into me getting a boyfriend because she wanted me to not be alone. And I get that. That was actually a sweet feeling because she was afraid that it was at a time that I was living by myself because my housemates just left and they moved houses. So for about 6 months, I think, I was living by myself in a 4-bedroom house, which I'm pretty sure was haunted. And
Haunted.
yeah, it's
You're
the
just
whole
gonna
thing.
glaze over that.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
That's a whole separate
Maybe-
can of worms.
Maybe in another episode, my haunted house.
My haunted house. So really quickly, I mean, just to comment, I guess, on the, like, do you have a man in your life? I just don't want you to be alone. I have a big problem with that because I am happily single, and quite honestly, like, I feel like I could be single for a very long time and still be happy with myself. You really don't need a significant other
No,
to
you
be
don't.
happy.
Yeah, I 100% understand that too. And that was basically what I told my mom. No, I don't have anyone, but I don't need anyone. I have friends. I am happy by myself. Actually, I was pretty miserable. I was so depressed.
Oh.
But it wasn't because I wasn't in a relationship. It was
for
just
other reasons.
different reasons. And yeah, but I kind of understand my mom's side. She wanted me to have someone, and I was like, oh, I have my friends. She was like, yeah, but it's not the same. Your friends, you know, they have other friends. They have their own stuff to worry about. A boyfriend is different. He would be there for you. He would spend the night. And she would make like this funny
Maddie
voice.
spends the night all the time.
I know. My friends spent the night all the time as well, and it was just this whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need no man to be happy, and and I was low-key offended that she only said man and not woman. But then again, she
No.
doesn't know, so
Patriarchy. It's a
Yeah.
thing still. It's okay.
heteronormativity is a thing. So yeah, I do understand why she said that, but still, there have been some questions over the years, and I feel that it's a big stigma for you to be single for a long period of time, or for you to not have any romantic experience when you're already in your 20s, because
Right.
usually you have like high school experiences,
Mm-hmm.
like middle school. There was this one girl at my school who I'm pretty sure was pregnant at 11 years old.
What
So-
the fuck?
At what?
11.
I didn't even
years
get my
old.
period until I was like 12.
I was gonna
Same.
say 12 is when I got my period, and I only remember because I was in Iowa and I was like freaking out because I was with friends on a trip, and I was like, I'm bleeding. What is happening?
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy. 11.
Yes.
Oh my
I
god.
really
So-
hope that she wasn't pregnant at 11 because I'm seriously concerned.
It was like the thing that everyone knew, but no one knew. So I'm not sure if it was just a weird, fucked up rumor, because I'm pretty sure we were 11 at that time as well. So I don't know. I
That's
didn't
crazy.
even know about pregnancies at 11. But
Well, if she was pregnant at
Close.
11, she now has like a 10-year-old child. So
Don't even say that.
that's
That's crazy.
to think about.
it is fucking
I'm sorry.
insane.
People my age are like getting married and having babies, and I'm like,
No, thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
still in school.
I have so many people
Well-
in my class who have babies now.
I think, like, your younger years, we put so much pressure on ourselves to date and to find someone because, like, I feel like for the most part, our parents' generation, like, they all got married young.
Yeah.
And I mean, but the thing is my mom was married, I can't remember if she's been married 3 or 4 times. But, like, that's because she got married so young. She got married young, and she was in some pretty awful relationships. And I don't want that to be me. So, like, I'm not rushing into it because
Yeah.
what is the point in rushing into it? Because it's probably not going to be healthy. If you're out there searching for someone, it's probably not going to last.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
happens.
Honestly, I have this, like, I mean, you guys know I'm not going to get married. I'm going to have a big party, wear a very nice, pretty dress, and get a lot of presents, me and my significant other, but I'm not getting married because I don't want that. But also because I have this weird thought that I'm going to have 3 divorces because my grandma had 1 divorce and then got married, and now she's happily married to my grandpa. And then my mom got 2 divorces, first from my sister's dad and then from my dad. And now she's, you know, being the awesome single lady that she is. So I, like, have this weird thought in my head that I'm going to have 3 husbands, 3 husbands or wives, and just, like, have to divorce them all. Like, it's just freaking me out, and I don't, so, I don't know. I really love being single, and I think everyone should definitely experience it. I don't think you should be forced to look for someone like single is a bad thing.
See, everyone in my family pretty much got married and stayed with the same person forever. There were a couple of divorces or people splitting up recently, actually, for a number of reasons. But I don't know. I don't really want to get married. I don't really want a partner. I just never felt that there's actually this comedian that I really love. And I go on about him to literally everyone under the sun.
I was gonna say, I think I already know who you're talking about.
Not John Mulaney.
Oh, okay.
Not John Mulaney. This is another guy who actually convinced Julie and Anna to watch, and I will convince you both to watch him.
We'll see. I'm pretty stubborn.
I'm
love
not.
him so much.
I'm the easy one here.
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Noted.
So, in one of his shows, he has this analogy about how a life is a jigsaw puzzle, and basically you have all these corners and blah, blah, blah. It's a really long analogy. You really need to watch it. His name is Daniel Sloss, if you want to watch it. But one of the analogy is basically there's something in your life that makes you happy, and that's like the main picture of the puzzle. And for every person is different. And he talks about how for most of his life, he thought the main piece had to be a relationship piece. It had to be a partner piece because that's what everyone's life was building up to.
Right.
And so how he felt really lonely because he never did well in relationships and he never wanted a relationship, like a long-term relationship, because he just felt miserable after a while in a relationship.
Right.
So, and then he finally realized that to him, his middle piece wasn't a relationship, it was something else. And since then he's been much happier than he was before. And I don't know, watching that, it really clicked for me. I was like, yeah, to me, like I was started thinking like if I had the jigsaw puzzle, what would mine be? And I had all these different corners and all these different pieces, and for me I was like, yeah, like not one of these pieces I thought it would ever be a relationship piece, like a romantic relationship piece. For me, it's just something I don't really need. We talked about this in another episode about demi-romanticism and demisexuality. And we are also going to have an episode about aromanticism and asexuality. And I'm not sure where I fall on this spectrum yet. I do really like the term demi because I'm not trying to close myself off to the possibility of being in a relationship. And maybe I will meet someone and I'll be like, wow, I was fucking stupid thinking I was like happy before. I'm so much happier now. But it's not something that I need, and I've never felt that I did, and I'm pretty happy not being one. So yeah, do you guys have something
I really
to
like
wait?
that.
Yeah.
I really like that analogy. Now it does make me want to watch it just so I can get that analogy.
Go watch it, guys.
because
Seriously.
having your life is a jigsaw puzzle, and it gets me thinking like, what's my picture mostly made of? Like,
It's on Netflix, guys. Seriously, go watch it, please. It's so good. I love it so much. I've legit watched like both his shows like 15 times each. They're just so good. Are you gonna watch it, Madi?
I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm stubborn.
maybe I can
But-
watch it.
You guys can
I
watch it
mean,
together.
I am a firm believer that you'll never truly be 100% happy in a relationship unless you're able to be happy alone.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people out there that like I've said that to, and they're so against the idea of that. But like I said, I've been single for 5.5 years at least, probably like 6 years by now. And it's like, I've done a lot of shit in that 6 years. And I truly believe that if I was in a relationship during the course of those 6 years, a lot of the things that have happened wouldn't have happened. Like, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. I'm pretty fucking happy with where I am right now. But, like, it gave me the space to, like, become my own person. And I think that's really important. And that's why, like, there can be a lot of issues with those, like, high school sweetheart relationships where all they have ever known is that other person. Right. And they've never had time to, like, grow as themselves. And yeah, like growing together, whatever, that is a thing. But like, I truly believe that like you need to have some sort of independence. You need to be able to be your own person. And if you are always in a relationship, you're never gonna have time to do that. Like, give yourself some time. So if you haven't been in a relationship or even gone on a date, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're young,
You're being yourself before you're being with another person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really agree with that, and I'm a firm believer that you are not a part of a whole. You are a whole person in a relationship. You make two wholes together.
Yes.
So I really don't like it's such a fairy tale thing to like, oh, we're soulmates. We're like, you know, two halves of the same thing or whatever. And it's like, no, sorry, bitch. You're a whole
have
person.
a number of soulmates throughout our lives.
I really like that.
Not all of them are romantic. Probably a good majority of them are platonic, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get, okay, here's my star sign bitch coming out. Like, there's a difference between, like, twin flames and soulmates. You only have one twin flame.
Okay.
But you have an infinite number of soulmates.
I really like that.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, I agree. I never really believed you only had one soulmate. I think there's so many fucking people on this earth. It would be really fucking sad if we only had one destined person, because there's 7 billion people on this earth.
There's no way we'd be able to meet them.
Yeah, the great majority of people would never meet them for their entire lives. So I do think, and I do 100% agree that not all soulmates need to be romantic. That is an absolute lie. You can feel so deeply connected to a person and not have romantic / sexual / whatever feelings for them. So I do 100% agree with that. And yeah, I really love that, guys. I really love that you guys agree with me as well.
It's good to feel affirmed.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, he's my soulmate, she's my soulmate, they're the one person I needed to meet.
One in thousands.
Yeah, you can have more than the ones, you know what I mean?
I don't really like that idea, mostly because I like to live my life as like I can, as long as I try as many things as possible, there's no chance that I won't, you know, there's a very low chance that I'll have regrets, because I'll try everything and I can't regret it if it was just me trying it. To say that you've maybe like, there's only one out there and you've passed it up, maybe because you chose to take AP psychology instead of AP sociology, and now you just like won't meet your significant other, like,
well,
sucks
sorry.
to be you. That's so sad.
The universe threw you this one person, that's all you get.
Yeah.
Like, you fucked it up.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you can't be happy with just one person for your entire life. Mm-hmm. My grandmother met my grandfather at 22, I believe, between 20 and 22, and he was the only man she was ever with, and she was so happy for her entire life with him, and he died on the year that I was born, and she's been single since, and she's never tried to find anyone, because she said, your grandfather was the love of my life, and I think that's completely valid. For her, she was happy, and she is happy knowing that he was part of her life, and that he was with her, and she's not looking for anyone else. Mm-hmm. And I think that's beautiful, because she knows that, and she feels reassured in that belief. So, but for other people out there, just because you have a soulmate now, if something happens and you split up, or whatever happens, life is shitty, doesn't mean you won't be able to have that experience again.
Yeah. Is it really shallow to say that I don't think I could be with someone for that long, because I'd be worried that I get tired of them? Like,
it's not shallow.
I'm worried that like the spark would go out of your relationship, you know?
It does.
Yeah. Like that scares me. What else do I have if not spark? Like,
well, I mean, my parents have been together for over 30 years. Like, they've been together married for over 30 years. I can't do math right now to know how long it's been. 33 years, maybe. And they've definitely gone through their ups and downs, but, like, they are still so madly in love. And it's amazing to me. But, like I said, my mom went through multiple marriages. That sounds awful to phrase it like that, but, like, my mom was in some pretty awful relationships prior to my dad. Mm-hmm. And my dad just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, she was grieving because of her previous husband's death, and, like, long story short, like, my dad was her ex-husband's best friend, and, like, pretty much before he died, he was like, I need you to take care of Stephanie, and I need you to take care of Stevie, like, his daughter. And my dad stepped up to, like, just be a friend, but then, you know, they ended up falling in love. Like, you can't plan for it, and it may come later in life, and that's fine. Like, I think making dating and relationships, like, your number one focus is unhealthy for anyone. Like, trying to find a person is so unhealthy. You just have to let it happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just go with the flow. Focus on the things that make you happy, the things that make you, like, that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And grow as a person on your own, and then someone will come along when you're least expecting it.
And especially if you focus on that, chances are you'll meet someone who has the same philosophy that you do, and is trying to interested in the same things, and you're halfway there. If that's something, if you want that to be a part of your life, is having a significant other.
I was gonna touch that. Doesn't mean that you do need to have someone.
Right.
So if you don't want to, or you don't feel like it, that's also fine.
Our Ace and Aru pals out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you don't want a relationship, or you don't want to have a significant other, and you're perfectly fine being by yourself, then that's completely fine too. Mm-hmm. And for our final topic, I also wanted to pull things back a little bit to a bisexual specific topic, which would be the misconception that all bisexuals are sluts, basically. That they jump from person to person, relationship to relationship, and they're greedy and slutty. And
I've already said that I'm easy.
Well, but then on the other side of the spectrum here, am I the complete opposite?
But see, the thing is first of all, we don't slut shame here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
If you want to be a slut, if you want to sleep with a lot of people, do it. Be happy. Be safe.
Yeah,
but
just
be happy.
As long as you're being safe, who gives a fuck? We're humans. Sex is fun if you enjoy sex. Yep. If you are a sexual human, you enjoy sex, and that's fine.
And we're living this is something that that I've read a lot about. We're living longer than previous generations, and while everyone in previous generations was like, monogamy, don't have sex with a lot of people, like, you know, keep it between you and your husband or your wife. We're living way longer than our predecessors, which means that we are gonna have more than one sexual partner.
Or maybe the multiple partners is what's keeping us alive.
It's all them sex.
I thought that's where you were going with it, and I was like, hell yeah. Bang it out, sis. Bang it out.
That's the only reason I'm staying alive is my multiple sexual partners.
That does not bode well for my for my life expectancy.
My sexual expectancy.
For my life expectancy.
None. But like that, I think that's one of like the biggest bisexual stereotypes, is that bisexual people are promiscuous, or they're serial daters, and like I don't see any truth in that.
So like there's me who pretty much fits, I don't want to say fits into that stereotype because I don't identify as a slut or anything, but like I mean I go on a lot of dates, and I won't say that I have sex with a lot of people, but I mean like I've had a pretty good amount of, you know, sexual partners, both male and female. Mm-hmm. So I guess if they, you know, if others wanted to, they could see me as fitting into that stereotype. But I certainly don't see myself as someone who's just like going around, you know, breaking hearts and breaking beds. Like
hashtag breaking hearts and breaking beds.
But no, I honestly don't see any, I don't see any truth to that either.
Yeah. Because,
I mean, there's people like you who have never been in a relationship. Me. And so you're like the
oddball.
The bi relationship virgin.
So, as for advice don't feel pressured to get into a relationship. Don't feel pressured to have sex just because you're a certain age and you think, oh, everyone of my age are having sex or having these experiences. Honestly, a lot of people do it later. A lot of people do it sooner. It's really up to when you're comfortable. It doesn't matter what anyone else but you thinks. So please keep that in mind. Do you have any advice for?
I think that, like, I kind of touched on it, but I think my biggest piece of advice is to follow your passions. Mm-hmm. That is the most important thing. Be selfish. Do the things that make you happy. Find something that you're truly passionate about and throw yourself into it head first. Because in the end, passionate people love passionate people. Down the line, if you're doing your thing, whatever that thing is, people will see that and people are attracted to that. Mm-hmm. So like when you're doing the things that you enjoy, the things that you're passionate about, that attracts people, and that may lead to a significant other. In the meantime, you're still doing the things that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
If that made any sense. I'm not feeling very eloquent today. I kind of have a headache and I'm really hungry.
We'll get you some food, babe.
Need some fried rice.
My advice would definitely be to find yourself before you go and find someone else. Mm-hmm. To realize that you are not one half of a soul. You are an entire human being, and you deserve to be happy and healthy, both emotionally and physically, before you go and find someone else to make you happy. I'm, again, a true believer in you gotta know yourself before you can know your soulmate or your twin flame. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Quick note, a lot of twin flame relationships are actually super crazy unhealthy, so they're not something to strive for. Just letting you guys know.
Anyway, to close it out, please let us know by email or in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. What is the centerpiece of your jigsaw puzzle? And if you haven't discovered it yet, maybe try and brainstorm a little bit about it.
Yeah, send us your mind map.
Yeah, send us your mind map. Send us your jigsaw puzzle.
I love a good mind map.
Yes. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias like Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Tumblr.
We're at Bye Bye Baby Podcast under all of those. And our email is
byebybabypodcast@gmail.com. That's everything for today. So
bye bye, babies.